Insert disc 2.
Make me a star boat.
Aaron, this is the first for Insert Disc 2.
I can't wait.
We are going to we've advertised the voicemail line last week on the show.
How'd we do?
We did well.
We got pay window.
We had several people call in to our voicemail line.
All right.
And so we're going to read some voicemails.
We're going to read voicemails?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, we could. One of the great things about Google Voice is it actually gives you a transcription.
Don't try to rescue yourself with that.
So if you wanted me to, I would. But I would hate to take away from the exotic accents that you requested last episode.
Let me ask you a question real quick before you kick this off. Let's say someone called in, and then when we answered, we would listen to the voicemail, they badmouth our mama, for example. What are we going to do about that?
Were you listening to anything that I just said a second ago?
Not a thing. No.
Okay, so Google Voice provides automated transcriptions.
Oh, so you already read these?
I've already read them. I've screened them, if you will.
Okay, insider term.
That's true.
Go ahead.
What we call it in the business. And by the business, I mean the industry.
Oh, I see. I'm on the outside looking in. It's been a while.
So we're going to kick things off with our first voicemail. So here we go.
Hi, guys. Dell is Dreamy here. And I was listening, I think it's like, I don't know, the show about Madden. It was like 6 months ago. And because I was looking for an Amigos game, an Amiga game of American football season coming up. I was listening to that show, and I realized that you do not recommend Madden. So is there a football recommendation for the Amiga? And also, in that show, you mentioned the boat challenge, and I'm wondering how that's going on. If you bought anything new, or an update on that would be great. Love the show, guys. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so happy you asked about the boat challenge.
Thanks for calling in, Dell. We appreciate it. From one of the highways and byways of America, as he drives that glorious 18-wheeler.
Shiny. Chrome.
Yeah, chrome.
I bet he's got the chick sitting on a little mud flap, you know, that gimmick.
He's playing Kathy Mattea. 18 wheels
and a dozen roses. Didn't think I knew that one, did you?
I knew you knew that one. So Del, we'll tackle both your questions. The first question: Amiga football recommendations. Aaron,
I did not hate the Madden for the Amiga. God, how many? That was 8 kabillion shows ago.
It was a very long time ago.
Let's ponder this. What you got? What do you got here? You got your Madden. You got your TV sports. All right. I believe, did we get 4th and inches on the Amiga? I think we did. I can't remember the accolade football game.
TV sports.
TV sports has got the most intriguing to look at. Madden is probably the most fun to play. Because TV sports, you can sort of cheat and win every time. There's also Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's an ABC presents Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I didn't play that one that much.
I don't know anything about that one. You're forgetting one though, one that we covered on the show.
Brutal
sports football.
Yes, that's your winner. Then I would pick brutal sports football if you want something that resembles American football. Of the ones we've looked at, that was the most fun. But Madden, if you want straight up American football, Madden would probably be the one I would go at, just because it's fun. It's just not, it's pretty good. It's not the best. I know you didn't like it at all, as I recall.
It was not my favorite.
Yeah.
I prefer the brutal sports perspective.
Brutal sports that one came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a great game.
CD32 release, Double Trouble. Now let's get on to the boat challenge. Since that show was taped, how have we done on the boat challenge? I look around at this massive amount of crap.
It's been almost a year since the boat challenge originally launched. I believe that I made it 1 or 2 months into the year-long challenge.
The boat sunk quickly and completely.
It turns out it's really, really difficult not buying new stuff. And I really started to feel guilty about it, because what I would do is I would be like, okay, well, this album just came out. I really want this album, but I'm on the boat challenge. So I'm going to download it illegally. I haven't paid for it, so I'm still on the boat challenge. So I'm breaking the law to keep on the boat challenge. And so I realized that was dumb.
You're kidding me.
And
you did that?
Well, I did.
An ethical man like yourself?
I know it's hard to believe. And so I realized, who's kidding who. I'm gonna buy, stuff, because the way I see a lot of stuff now is it's almost like the Patreon model, where it's like if there's a book that's just come out, I mean, like, and I really want to read it, sure, I could go to the library and I could check it out for free, but I want to give something back to the person that created it.
Oh, listen to you.
I'm serious.
Talk about twisting it. Let me tell you, he's got a game box over there the size of a Buick.
Don't mention Gloomhaven right now. This is
so don't tell how much of that. Just let me ask, how much is Gloomhaven and its accompanying other huge crate? What'd that run you?
We're pretty close to $200.
Okay, and that's the answer to the boat challenge question. Move on.
All right, we're moving on. Our next voicemail, we got it queued. Actually, you know what? Let's take a live call.
Holy smokes! Okay.
All right, so we're gonna try this out. Here we go. Let me just. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, gentlemen. It's Pixels at Dawn.
Hey, Pixels.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very good. How's it going, man?
Not so bad. Not so bad. Not so bad across the pond here in the UK.
Good, good. So, what do you want to talk about, Pixels?
You know, I'm a bit of a sci-fi fan. Just fits in with all the nerd stuff. So, what are your guys' favourite sci-fi shows? What's your favourite sci-fi games? All that kind of good stuff.
Oh, great. Awesome. Aaron, you want to start this one off?
Oh, boy. You know, I love me some sci-fi. I'm just going to run down some of my favorites.
Okay.
The original Star Trek. It's a must. Gots to have that. Babylon 5. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Firefly. Love, love, love it. Twilight Zone, which I think falls somewhere into this mix. The original Outer Limits was great. The new Outer Limits was good.
What about the one in the middle?
There was no one in the middle. There was a new one and an old one.
What about, wasn't there one on Fox for a while?
You're talking about Twilight Zone or Outer Limits?
I thought it was Outer Limits.
No, it was Twilight Zone. Black Mirror. I really, really enjoy that show as well. What about you, bud? I don't want to hog all the sci-fi shows. What do you like?
I'm not as big of a fan of the genre as you are, but I do like sci-fi. I like Deep Space Nine. I know you don't like it, but
I don't hate it.
I thought that was a really compelling story. I like the fact that the stuff came to the station. The station didn't go other places. Of course, I like Next Generation. I like Firefly, but I'm not quite as crazy about it as you or your brother are. In terms of stuff that's come out just within the past couple of years, I don't know that I've seen. I guess I just don't watch enough TV anymore. Would you say that Black Mirror is probably the best thing that's come out lately in the sci-fi realm? It's really good. More of a horror.
No, it's absolutely sci-fi.
Is it sci-fi?
Yeah. And a little bit of horror. I missed a couple. I should mention Doctor Who. Until recently, I was in fact, the classic Doctor Who. I'm still a big fan. I have written off the current Doctor Who. I don't watch it anymore.
What do you think about you got to comment on the woman doctor?
You know what I think about it. I don't like it. And part of it's just because I haven't liked the show for quite a while.
Is it as bad as Latino Spider-Man?
Listen, it's got nothing to do. It's just is it going to suck or not? If it's not going to suck, I'll watch it.
But you've already written it off.
If she comes out and doesn't suck, I'll watch it. But I mean, I still think it was it's a gimmick. You know, Black James Bond. It's a gimmick, just like Black Dracula was or whatever. Just listen, make a new character for Pete's sake. Why are we having to rehash these old guys? But another show that I would say falls somewhere in the neighborhood of science fiction, fantasy would be The Prisoner. Which is the classic
Harrison Ford
BBC show. No, we've already went over this. Patrick McGowan, which was I don't know how. I'm assuming overseas that's a much more popular show than it is here. But this show is very compelling. Great show, and I used to watch that and just loved the heck out of that. And I know I'm missing a bunch. I'm going to kick myself later, but I think of the heavy hitters. Those are the ones that I come up with.
Awesome, Pixels. You have any recommendations?
Well, yeah, Prisoners are one I'm a big fan of. Very big over here in the UK. I'm a massive Trekkie, so definitely every bit of Star Trek I can get. I really liked the new version of Battlestar Galactica they did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Aaron hates it.
No, that's not true. I didn't like the reimagining of the characters. If you grew up watching the original Battlestar Galactica, it's a real tough sell. To just literally, I mean, again, they could have taken a whole new crew. They could have done a whole new show, but they had to have a new Starbuck, a new Adama. And if you grew up with the old ones, it's real tough to switch over. It's tough.
I understand.
But I heard it was great, and the few episodes I watched, I really liked. So I'm not going to bury the new Battlestar Galactica.
I didn't see much of the original, so yeah, I can see why that would go that way.
Honestly, the new one's
pretty
better.
fresh for me.
That's the worst part. Everything I saw from the new one, it was a much better show.
What about Space 1999?
And I never got into it.
Oh yeah.
I never got into that one.
How about Earth 2?
I never got into that one either. No.
Okay.
These are some duds. Here.
Well, Pixels, thanks very much for your call.
Thanks,
No
Biggs.
problem.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, Aaron, let's queue up another voicemail.
I can't believe that worked. That's
Do you doubt my
This is like science
prowess
fiction
here?
right now. Just what's happening here.
Here's our next voicemail.
All right.
Hey, John and Aaron, it's Graham calling from sunny Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to ask you a real simple question. If you could travel back to 1983, and knowing what you know now, what would you change differently to what you did back in the time? And really enjoyed the show and look forward to hearing your answers. See you later.
All right, Graham, thanks for your call.
I assume that was our good buddy, Graham.
That's right.
Mr.
Vedke.
Love Graham. He said 83, I believe he said. Gosh, you want to take what you have?
No, 93.
Oh, I thought he said 83.
If it was 83, it would be a real short answer for me. I was 2 years old in 83.
Well, I would tell yourself that, I don't know. At 80, I guess 2, there's not much you could say. Slob or less.
So let's go to 93.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so 93, I was 12 years old in 93. Probably the most general advice I would give myself from back then is just don't fool around with being infatuated with girls all the time. I wasted so much time pining over unrequited loves in my middle school and high school career. Just an utter waste.
And you wound up with a great gal.
Yeah,
after all that baloney.
I'd go back and I'd tell myself, listen, it's going to work out. Just stop with the nonsense. Play a lot more Magic. Read more comic books. Do anything else but sit here and just play a lot of The Cure and think.
I'm trying to get in 93. I'd been out of high school since 89. Mm-hmm. And I had
your career was just taking off.
You're right. I just started my job at Lexmark. Mm-hmm. I think what I would have told that Aaron, or if I could change something, this is gonna sound sort of sad in a way, but it's true. I wish I would have. When I got out of high school, I lost. When I got out of school in '93, I lost 107 pounds. Right, and I was.
So this was the year of the low carb diet.
No, this was not that. This was just a straight up beat down, old school diet.
Okay.
And I lost 107 pounds. I wish I could tell Aaron, because what happened was I moved to Lex. I didn't know anybody. I got bored. There was a lot of good places to eat. I gained all my weight back. That was the first time I gained it back. I'd go. It's a other story, but I would probably tell me stay the course, thin Aaron, because being heavy is a real pain in the butt.
Yeah,
literally and physically. So that's probably what I would do. Try to convince myself to stay on the wagon. But in terms of changing stuff, like historically, in '93, Amigo was already pretty much boned, so there's nothing you can really do there. So I probably would tell me also never throw any of your stuff away.
Yeah.
Because this stuff's going to be worth a ton.
Yeah, I'd tell myself the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it wasn't worth a ton, I'd still tell myself not to throw it away because I wish I had it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, looks like we've got another caller queued up over here on the Discord.
I can't believe it.
So let's give him a call.
We need some calm music like Dave Letterman used to have. I guess that's probably copyright. You can make something up. There you go.
All right, and it looks like, caller, you are currently muted. So please unmute yourself.
It'd be cool if you could mute people in real life.
You can, with a punch to the face.
Oh, man. Holy smokes, dude.
All right. Well, it looks like our caller here is still struggling to unmute. So we're going to play another voicemail, and I will give you a shout here in a couple more minutes, and hopefully we can get this worked out because we'd love to have you on the air.
Can't believe we're getting live calls. I just love it.
Absolutely.
I just love it. This is just like a real radio show where people call in and get the radio turned up too loud.
Yeah, turn your radio down.
Yeah. Art Bell said all the time.
All right, here is our next caller.
All right.
Hey, this is Chris Ford.
Oh.
My question for you guys is, what was your favorite cartoons when growing up? Adios.
Oh man, favorite cartoons. Why don't you tackle that one?
Oh boy, well, probably Captain Planet and Jim.
Are you serious?
No.
My God, 'cause I thought, could you pick dorkier stuff than those?
No, but I mean, I did like a lot of dorky stuff. I like Doug a whole lot. I know totally you were way too old for that, but I really
knew you were going to say,
Doug.
because when you grew up, that's when cartoons, I mean, they nose dove. All that Nickelodeon garbage, and people love it.
Oh yeah, I was at the height of all that stuff.
Oh man.
I really liked what else did I enjoy watching? I like the Alvin and the Chipmunks cartoon. I thought that was pretty good.
My kid likes that.
I grew up watching a ton of Scooby-Doo, even though it was too old for me. But even at a young age, I grew to hate Scrappy-Doo. My favorite Scooby-Doo episodes were the ones with the movies with the celebrities.
Oh, the cheese dog.
And that was how I first heard about, Tim Conway and all these guys. Of course, most of them were dead by the time I was watching it. But
by the time you watched it, yeah, you're probably right.
What about you?
I grew up in sort of the golden age of cartoons because they had Cartoon Day every Saturday. Get up early, and 6 o'clock. They'd start cartoons. They'd run up to like 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a smorgasbord of cartoons.
Now, were you one of these kids where you got the cereal? Were you eating in front? Was it Luke style with the cot?
Let me tell you, no. I was right up in the no. Are you kidding me? So let's start off. I used to watch all the Bugs Bunny and Friends. Those were great,
mm-hmm.
and they used to run them forever. Tom and Jerry. I used to watch the crap out of those. Now, of course, as you get older, the cartoons change and become more advanced. Remember the first time I saw Star Blazers, which is an anime, which I thought was really awesome, where they go through space on this battleship.
Really?
And Speed Racer, the anime, I was like, man, this is really different.
Mm-hmm.
That was stuff I didn't get to watch on Saturday, though. I used to watch Thundar. I thought that was great. Space Ghost, I thought was a really cool cartoon. Scooby-Doo, I like the original run from '69. I would watch them all. I've seen them all, including the Scrappies, because I like Scooby. But sometimes they were not that good.
Yeah.
And then the Flintstones, the original Flintstones, anything where Pebbles and Bateman can talk or get in their door teenagers, that's all crap.
Another show I'm ashamed to admit that I liked was the Flintstone Kids.
Those are no good.
That I remember liking that, and also a pup named Scooby-Doo when they reimagined that.
Yeah. Now, if you talk about cartoons when we were older, because I do, Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, the X-Men series were all great. I really enjoyed them. And
you like Gargoyles too, right?
Gargoyles was another great one. Exo Squad. So that's a pretty good. I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about cartoons I used to watch and still do watch. Me and the boy are going through real Ghostbusters right now. So.
Cool. I like that a lot when I was a kid too. I don't call Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I hated that.
Why?
I remember I was there when they had the comic book and a role playing game, and I thought this is a stupid concept. And I thought it was dumb, and I still do. I just never got into it. That's the way it is. I do like their video game. That's great.
Let's see here. We've got another. Actually, another thing that you can do. Here on the Amigos, you can call, or on an insert disc, you can call in. You don't have to have a question. You just got to have a hot take. You ever listen to Jim Rome on ESPN?
Yeah, I hate that guy.
All right, I hate him too. But he has this concept called that you call in with your hot take, and it's not asking a question. It's just like your opinion.
But the opinions are all stupid too.
It's sports talk radio.
I know, which is literally, it's like you can't waste your time any more than you want.
Absolutely. So here we go.
Hello, good morning. This is Captain Jack Flack. Sorry.
Oh man, I was hoping it was the.
I was trying to do that exotic accent thing. I just don't think I have one. Actually, I don't even have much of a voice yet. I'm finishing my first mug of coffee, but I wanted to try out the new voice line for the Amigos and Insert Disc 2. I just finished listening to the new episode this morning. I always enjoy Aaron's memories of wrestling. I love old wrestling. I was big into wrestling as a kid. I don't know what happened. At some point, like a lot of things, some people stuck with it and some people outgrew it. I guess I was just one that outgrew it. But growing up in Oklahoma, we had Mid-South Wrestling. That's what we had. Every Saturday, we would watch Mid-South Wrestling, and we would watch a Junkyard Dog and oh gosh, all those guys. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Fabulous Freebirds would show up, and sometimes, I guess the Von Erichs, being in Texas, they would show up at Rock and Roll Express. Those were another one of my favorites. We would actually go watch wrestling. I remember tickets to wrestling were like $4, $3 or $4 in the nosebleed section. They would have it at the Myriad, which, held 30,000 people. And we would pay $3 or $4 for the absolute worst seats. And then by the second match, we would be almost on the floor because there was nobody sitting up there in the nosebleed section, just us kids who couldn't afford anything. But I would go, and then my neighbor had he had a separate garage that was separate from their house. We called it the back garage, and for some reason they had several mattresses in the back garage, and so we would go watch wrestling, or we would watch wrestling on Saturday, and then everybody would meet at the back garage. We would pull out all the mattresses. We would have our, we'd set them up like a tile, like 4, like 2x2 mattresses, and that would be the ring, and we would have these epic wrestling matches. Now, when the big kids came, that's when the fun was over, because when we were the little kids, we would pretend to body slam or pretend to flip guys over, and then you would bounce off the mattress, and we were all having a good time, but then the big kids would show up, and their only move was like sit on our heads for a long time.
That was
their finishing move. I remember being trapped underneath a guy who was 5 years older than me and thinking this is the end. Like I was blacking out, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get air, and
unfortunately, Google Boys has a time limit of 3 minutes for your hot take. So you got to keep your hot take under 3 minutes.
Well, I will comment on Flack. I love Mid-South Wrestling, and actually it's on the network now, WWF Network, a lot of it. They had all the great guys that got rated by the WWF. They had Ted DiBiase, they had Hacksaw Duggan, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Terry Gordy, the Freebirds, Terry Taylor. They had a slew of great workers over there.
There's not enough guys named Terry anymore.
There's not nearly enough. But they were renowned for being one of the best territories of all time. So Rob was a very fortunate man to have gotten to sit down and watch it, and see it live would be great too. But you know what killed them? Their territory was Oklahoma and Texas. The oil, when oil went down to nothing back in the 80s, killed them dead. That's what, and they lost their business went away.
Yeah, makes sense.
Kind of wacky, but hey, that's great. I love talking old wrestling. I knew Flack was sort of into it, but it's kind of neat to hear that.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Flack. All right, we have our caller back with us.
All right,
here we go.
I thought Flack was a big Russian. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. All right, we are awaiting.
Is there? Oh,
okay. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Edvin, calling from Norway.
Hey, Edvin.
Oh boy. Hi, Edvin.
What's on your mind?
Well, it's some sort of delay on the phone, but
okay, yeah.
I will
you
turn
your PC
turn the
down.
volume down.
Yeah.
Just like Art Bell. I love it.
Hey.
Hey.
Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah. Aaron.
Yes.
Since you're the Amiga bit of this twosome, I would like to ask you a question. When or what year did you had to give up your Amiga?
I know this perfectly, like it was yesterday. And it's funny you should mention it because we just had a question on it. I moved to Lexington, Kentucky in 1993. And my computer was the Amiga 1200 with a modem and a hard drive, good to go. All right. And I'd been keeping an eye on what was going on with the Amiga, especially in the States. Because you got to think, the Amiga had a short shelf life here. And I could tell it was boned. I had the same feeling when I got rid of my Coco 3. I was like, this thing's going nowhere. I got to unload it now so I can get, because I had no money. And so if I needed to get something that was going to be usable, I had to take and sell what I had that was good and soon enough to get the money from it to buy something else. And that's exactly what I did. I had to end up selling the 1200, and I believe I sold it in the early part of 1994. I think was the last time it was somewhere between August. It was somewhere between September of 93 and probably June of 94 was what I would have sold it. I got a good price on it at the time because it still had value. Because it still has value today. But who knew that it was still going to be a thing? And trust me when I tell you, because I had labored under the Amiga 1000 for a long time, and so when the 1200 was such a huge upgrade in every way. Plus, it had the hard drive, and the memory. It was brutal to let it go. It hurt me a lot. In fact, the only thing that was worse was unloading all my arcade games when I had to move out of Lexington. And it was for the exact same reason. I just needed the money. Money's been a perpetual thorn in my side. But I sold it to a guy locally who paid me. I wish I could remember what I got for it, but I don't remember. And I ended up taking that money and buying my first personally owned PC, which was it was a 486 PC, which was actually, it was a 386 PC with one of those Cyrix 486 processors stuck in a 386 slot. And that was my takeoff point into the PC land. I mean, we'd had a Tandy 1000 before that, but this was my computer, not my mom and dad's, and I went with it and then upgraded that and moved on. And the Amiga wouldn't come back into my life until probably, it wasn't a super long time before I got hungry to get another one. And I had an offer from a guy to buy 1000, and I think I got it in, say, 96 or 97. But by that time, the Amiga was, it was a novelty at that point. No one was using them. So it would have been about 93 or 94, man. It was a sad day. I remember it. It was a very sad day.
Yeah, it was a sad year.
Yeah. All right, Edvin, thanks very much for your call.
Good to hear from you, Edvin.
Oh. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
That's a cool Norway accent there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we have, let's see. Looks like we are all out of voicemails,
Beautiful.
Aaron. So I believe this was a good first showing.
Yeah, I like that. That was neat.
Insert Disc 2. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again. If you want to be on the show, you can either call us. We have the Amigos voicemail is 304, wait a minute, that's my real number. 304-729-4619. Again, that is 304-729-4619. That is a U.S. number.
Charges may apply.
Charges may apply. Or you can just record yourself in Audacity and send me a WAV file or a FLAC file or whatever. Or if you are a member of our Discord channel, you can do what Edvin and Pixels did and just send me a message during the show, and we'll give you a call.
I love it. Yeah. I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for throwing in. That was cool, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I dug it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Till then,
adios.